Hi there, my name is Ngie. You can call me Wams. Build up to the October 12 presidential elections, we are meeting decision makers, stakeholders of development, and today we are meeting the Member of Parliament for Momo West Constituency, Hon Awutah Philip, to discuss some issues concerning our division and especially some of the stakes as far as the elections are concerned. Hon Awutah Philip, it's a pleasure to meet you. We are a couple of months to the October 12 presidential elections. How set is Momo West Constituency as far as these elections are concerned? What are the stakes?
Yes, Mr. Wams, it's a pleasure for me having this opportunity to discuss with you over issues involving my constituency. As far as presidential elections are concerned, we are already, I would say, 98% prepared for the election. At least we participated in the voters registration, and actually in the three subdivisions the voters registration number increased tremendously as compared to the past elections. And we have equally mobilized because for the time I've been, in the past 5 years, I have not seen any other party that has been on the ground. So except there is a miracle that is supposed to be performed overnight for us to have any serious competition with any party within Momo West.
But perhaps this is more reason why people say that, because you don't have any clear opponent. You're probably sleeping on your laurels. How concerned are you about infrastructure development in your constituency? And what can you describe what it starts like now?
Yes, actually it's just that maybe people are not informed. Yeah, because actually there was a contract that was awarded for the construction of the road from Bamenda to Njikwa passing through Ebam to Andek, and then Andek Widikum. That contract was awarded to Fed Construction Company. And in effect, he started work, with the Njikwa road, and his caterpillars were vandalized. So he stopped work at that level, and we clamored for him to remobilize other machines to continue with the work. But unfortunately, he was unable to do that. And the contract was withdrawn from him, and it has now been awarded to Tunnel Construction. It's still one of our brothers from Mbengwi, who is now the one having the same contract. And equally, the contract was supposed to extend to Osum. Yeah, presently, I learned he is now on the Osum road, which is working now. So it's just that it is unfortunate that the contract was awarded during this period of rain. And we know if he gets to the road now, the situation will be more deplorable.
Honorable, we will dwell more on people in Ngie watching you. They want to know, because you'll be telling them during campaigns that they should vote for President Paul Biya, probably because of the CPDM. A 5-point plan, just 5 reasons why you think Ngie people in Widikum, people in Njikwa, and all those other constituencies should continue supporting a government that most of them believe has left them in a very needy state.
Yes, I will tell you that the Under Council has never had the budget that they are having now, and it's down to this decentralization, which is the brainchild of President Paul Biya. And if you go to Andek, you will see so many projects that have been executed by the council. We have bridges, we have roads farm to market roads. We have markets that have just been given. We have the contract for the construction of the market in Chinachung, Andek, and Teze. All of these things are things that for a very long time we have never had. And these things are coming up now because we are there. Because before I was not a parliamentarian, so there were many difficulties that we are having to connect to the government. And within the time that I've been there, as we are working together with the section president, we are working with the mayor, we have been able to bring many things to me. And it is in that connection, because it is often said that it is better to deal with a devil you know than an angel you don't know. If you look at the confusion that is within the opposition, it just shows you that they are out for self-aggrandizement, selfish interest.
Some will tell you that probably the situation of the crisis situation in your constituency, especially, we know how badly hit most of the subdivisions in Momo Division have been hit by the crisis, and people believe that the CPDM still has a stronghold in those places because they are the ruling party. They have the support of state security, so they can have access to wherever they are. They can go, while the opposition, they can't get this support. So probably that explains why.
First of all, if you cannot put your house in order, how do you think that you can have support from others? Because if the opposition, they were serious, we would have been seen them coming together to have a unique candidate that can face, because the fact is clear. The only party that is implanted nationwide is CPDM. And whether you like it or you don't like it, if you cannot be implanted nationwide, there is no way you can win presidential election. And the only thing that would have maybe be making us think that they are serious is that if all of them can put themselves together, at least this person is represented here, the other person is represented here, they can join those efforts and then we think we have a fight. But in the circumstances that each of them want to be presidential candidate, the end of it is that some of them will be having 0.5, 0.2 and 3.7% and the rest. And at the end of the day, we will still win. And this time around, we will win overwhelmingly because there are so many candidates who are going to go in for the election.
Honorable, that's as far as the presidential elections are concerned. We know right after that the municipal and the legislative, all of them will be coming up next year. And that's what's going to particularly concern you. You've been in Parliament for some time now. What would you tell those who from whose support you'll be needing to continue, or you'll be telling them as milestone achievements, you as Honorable Awutah Philip, what will you be telling your supporters to renew confidence in you?
Yeah, Mr. Wams, I will tell you that I came to Parliament for the sake of development of my constituency. Before coming to Parliament, I was a successful lawyer. I had my chambers in Kumba, which is still operational. There are 4 lawyers there, and equally here in Yaoundé, I just have an extension which I still have 4 lawyers, making the 8 lawyers in that. So my coming to Parliament was not for money, because there is first of all no money to collect from the assembly, because if you look at the workload that you have, then if you are not careful, you leave the assembly more poorer than you came.
So
what, but that notwithstanding,
yes. Why
to tell you that for my first year that I was in office, then there was still micro project money that was coming. If we were at the heat of the crisis, and most of my constituencies they complained of hunger. And what I did was that I bought food items, which was rice, savon, Ngie, you can count them. And we met in Bamenda with the mayors of the 3 sub-missions. And I handed these food items to them for onward transmission. In my second year in office, I consulted my constituents of their needs. The man of Widikum told me about medical equipment at the medicalized health center in Widikum. It was the same issue in Ngie, but Njikwa, that year they were given medical equipment by the minister, Madam Acha. So they told me that they needed farm tools. So actually, I bought medical equipment of about 15 million francs, which I went to Widikum myself. Despite the heat of the crisis, I had to disguise myself in a Clandon vehicle. And I got to Widikum, went to the hospital with the DO. I handed those equipment, and the DO advised me to take off immediately, which I left. Before news got that I was in Widikum, I was already back in Kuba, and these guys were after me. They threatened the doctor, the medical doctor, since then I've not gone back to Widikum. The next thing was the equipment I bought, almost similar equipment for ANDEC, Medical Health Center. I had already I bought a bag that I was supposed to go to Ngie to hand them personally. But unfortunately, the bike rider told me that they have just announced that it is Black Sunday in Acha, and that bikes cannot go. So, fortunately, I already sent the items ahead. So I had to call Mr. Cheko, who is the first deputy mayor. He's the one who handed those equipment to the Medical Health Center in the presence of the DO and the mayor. I bought farm tools equipment for Njikwa. And we met in Bamenda because when I sent the food items, I got news that the food items did not actually reach their destination in most of the cases. So I insisted now, this time around for Njikwa, that I want representatives from the 9 villages to come to Bamenda, and they effectively came. In the presence of the mayor, we distributed those farm tools to the representatives of the 9 villages of Njikwa. Thereafter, the next year, at that moment, there were no longer micro project money. But I did not fold my arms. The Njikwa people cried about the problem of the road, same with the people of Ngie. In collaboration with the minister, Madam Acha, I booked audience. I met the Minister of Public Works. She too was always, where I go and I find difficulties, she will always call the minister to receive me. And eventually, we had that road. That was the contract that was awarded to Fed Construction. When that work was awarded, all of us were very happy. And we thought that within a reasonable time, the roads would have been open. But unfortunately, we had the problem that they vandalized the equipment of Fed Construction that paralyzed the work. We equally went ahead, and the people of Njikwa told me about electricity. I equally put in, I asked them, they produced a project, which project I submitted to the Ministry of Water and Energy. And as usual, I've always been working with the minister, Madam Acha, because whenever I go for any project, I inform her that I put on this project, and because she will not have time to be going there and following, so but from time to time when I have difficulties, she will call the minister concerned to give me the leeway to put across what I want to put across. And thank God, because we put in a project for almost a billion plus. But when I met the minister told me that they will not have a budget to carry that at once. So we should rather cut it down. They can do it in phases. And that is how we succeeded to have a sponsor for 300 million for electricity from, it was supposed to be from Acha to Njikwa, but the money was not enough to get to Njikwa. But when we got to the ground, we discovered that there was already a contract that was awarded to Awutah for electricity from Acha to Oshe. So the regional delegate of water and energy had now to liaise with the son of Awutah who succeeded him for them to make sure that they do the construction from Acha to Oshe, and the 300 million that was given was now to extend from Oshe to Njikwa. It is rather unfortunate that the contract the man who was awarded the contract from Oshe to Njikwa is almost completing his work. But the path from Acha to Oshe is where we still have a problem, because it was a World Bank sponsored project, and because of the crisis, the World Bank withdrew funding. But thank God they have reinstated the funding because of guarantee from government that there will be security. So we are looking forward to see that project come to fruition. We equally have a project which came to Yaoundé here. The Ngie people here needed a hall. There was a hall, no doubt, but not a hall of the befitting hall. I took upon myself as a project, which I brought all the elders of Ngie that were here in Yaoundé and told them they need for us to join hands to see how we can restructure that building to make it befitting.
When was the last time you were in any of the subdivisions in your constituency? If not recently, why have you not been there? Because the mayor, for example, in Ngie says that there is relative security in Ngie, and he expects that politicians, people should come on the ground for whatever endeavors. He doesn't seem to be seeing people come on the ground.
Yes, the problem we want you to understand is that the job of an MP does not necessarily need him to be on the ground. The MP job is here in Yaoundé. The mayor is supposed to conceive projects, channel them to the various ministries, and I'm given copies to see how I can follow up for the projects to get into the budget and for the government to finance. If actually I'm supposed to go to the ground, it's mainly to know the problems of my people, which does not necessarily mean that I must go to whether Teze to know what the Teze people need, or I should go to Widikum to know what the Widikum people need. Me communicating with the mayor, communicating with the stakeholders in all these projects, I'm telling you, it did not mean I did not go to Njikwa.
Honorable, we have seen MPs leave Yaoundé and go on the grassroots also to.
Yes, I'm not counseling the fact that you are not supposed to go to the ground. The problem we have on the ground is insecurity.
Okay.
It's insecurity. Because last time I was supposed to follow the section president for us to go for the 20th May, but for an event that took place here in Yaoundé that disturbed him to go. But unfortunately, the section president got there and was kidnapped. Yes. And So it is not a matter of taking risks just because you want to take risks. Then there must be some reason which you think you must take the risk. Because I've been to Bamenda on about 2 occasions for security to be provided for me so that I can go down to Ngie or I can go down to Njikwa. They complain about the bad road. That the armor cars cannot easily fly those roads. So I cannot afford to take the risk the mayor is taking, that you are taking a bike to go to Ngie. Because the problem we have with the insecurity is not the Amber guys, it is us, among us. Because the Amber guys will not know me, but immediately I take a bike from Bamenda that I'm going to Ngie. It is only the Ngie people or the Njikwa people that will call and tell the people that that bike that is coming, it is Honorable Mr. Awutah who is on that bike. So that's why I'm saying that if it is possible, because I'm one of the person, there was never 1 year that passes without me going to the village more than 3 or 4 times.
Honorable, let's do this really quick. People have the impression that our political elite in Momo Division, let's reduce it to your constituency, are disunited, in quotes. Just say one word each for the following persons that I'm going to call. Let's start with Mamba Acharos. What do you have to say about her?
I will tell you that Mamba Acharos is a blessing to the Momo people. Because she has a listening ear. We have been, like I told you, most of the projects I've been able to realize is thanks to her collaboration. Because at least they cooperate among themselves as colleagues in government. And so when she knocks a door, the colleague will actually open the door.
Ojambe Stephen, the section president.
Yes, we equally have a good collaboration with Ojambe Stephen. Yes, we have worked all along these things I'm talking to you. When I have audience in one ministry, I always go with the section president for Ngie, the section president for Njikwa, the section president for Widikum. So we have always been moving all of us together. And so all these achievements is a collective effort that we have been putting together. Even the Lord Mayor.
I was going to come to Lord Mayor and the Council, Obango Hele. Maybe on the personal note, forgetting the political relationship you have, what do you have to say about him?
Yes, actually, Mr. Obango to me is like a political neighbor, because he is one of the persons who encouraged me to come into politics because I was politicking in the Southwest, but he's one of the people that motivated me to come back home. And one thing I learned from him is the fact that he has a good vision for me. He's somebody who can sacrifice even his personal money to get a name for him. Yeah, we may not be perfect, but that is a good aspect of him that I like. And so we have been working together. When we started, there were some differences between him and the section president and the rest, but we have been able to narrow those differences, and we are working together now as a team.
The current cadre president, Dr. Eba Peter?
Yes, the cadre president, the problem we have is that, to be very honest, the cadre president has not been up to the task, because we are talking about activities. CADA is the umbrella association that is supposed to harness development in Ngie. But for the past 5 years, CADA has been in the doldrums. Because you may be talking about the crisis, because that is what he has been saying. I say no. We can function without going to the village. We have a branch in Bamenda, we have a branch in Bafoussam, we have a branch in the south, branches in the southwest, we have a branch in Douala and Yaoundé. If these branches are functioning, activities will still go on as if there was nothing wrong. And that is what other associations are doing, but which we have not been able to live up to expectation.
Honorable President Paul Biya is 93 years old. He has ruled Cameroon for 43 years. He is the president of your party. We are moving up to elections where he's going to stand again for your party. This figure, President Paul Biya, what does it represent to you as a person and as a politician?
Yes, Mr. Wams, it's better to deal with the devil you know than an angel you don't know. Governance is a matter of institutions. Once the institutions have been put in place, even you can be the head of state and things will move well.
The institutions clearly are not working in Cameroun.
No,
let's be honest.
What I want you to understand is that when you want to go behind, look at before Paul Biya became head of state, the level of development we had. How many universities did we have before Paul Biya became head of state? Was there a bridge, another bridge across the Momo, over the Mbengwi? How many new roads have been done since you came to power? You can count many things he has done, but people focus. Cameroon is not like a small village. It's a very big country that many things you are doing may not go to all the corners at the same time, but something is being done. And he has put already in place a mechanism which we think give him more opportunities with the people he is working with. With shortcomings notwithstanding, Cameroon will move forward. Because when we look at the alternative that people are offering, we don't see anything better. So it's preferable that let him be there and continue with the good vision he has already put in place. We only need to reinforce some lapses that we have left and right to ensure that things are better than we are seeing today.
Maurice Kamto, a politician, is a household name. People describe him as a messiah, someone who was supposed to come and bring the change that the masses have been asking for. What do you think about this personality?
Yes, it's actually a very, very controversial personality, because when you are in politics, you need to master where you are going to, and design a good plan to get there. Because Maurice Kamto is a legal luminary, and we think that he better master the laws of the country. But the way he has been functioning made us start doubting, because the first thing is he knew very well that elections were coming, and that for him to qualify, he was supposed to have councillors, the members of parliament, and all of that. He was quite aware of that, but he chose to boycott. And then again, he gave all the impression that he has mastered the law very well, and that notwithstanding the fact that NRC did not have representation, they were still qualified. We were expecting him to go to the court and prove to us that it was possible. But at the 9 minutes, he chose again to go riding a lame horse. So with all these blunders, I don't see him being a good politician.
His ousting from the presidential race has brought about mixed feelings. Now, the dynamics has also changed with the coming in of Mbengwi and Isachiluma Bakari. How do you think this is going to play out? We know they have been in alliance with your party for a very long time, and they are proving to be a major force to reckon with as far as the opposition in quotes, and many think that it's a strategy by your party to further fragment and subdivide the very small votes that all of the 11 opposition parties could have had. What is your take as far as how do you perceive, first of all, the individuals Isachiluma Bakari and Minister Mbengwi Bakari and their drive to run for president?
Yes, I don't want to tell you that those two personalities you have mentioned, they are opportunists. And they cannot be for the interests of the people, because events have proven that when the people needed them to support them, they choose to back us because they wanted something to eat. They were thinking about their self-interest. That is why they ran to us.
And you gave them?
And we gave them. They are eating fat. And today they turn around, they say they want to fight us. What we know is just that they are looking for more other avenues to enrich themselves, not the interest of Cameroon. So no Cameroonian should rely on them.
But you saw the other day, such a from the airport in Ghana, people were, there was a mammoth crowd.
No, it is not, see.
It seems to be shaking what the CPDM calls their stronghold is the north, and it seems to be shaking.
Frundi used to pull crowds. The same like Kanto used to pull crowds. But when you go in that crowd, you will find few electors. Majority of people who just rush and come, it is that euphoria that follow them, and they go there. And at the end of the day, ask them that let somebody remove his voter's card. You may find that half of that population, they are just noisemakers. So CPDM goes for voters. We don't go for crowds. We know our base. So as we are implanted, if we look at only our executive members at the level of the sales, executive members at the level of the branch, executive members at the level of the section, the subsection, executive members at the level of the section. If we count only that population alone, because all of them are registered voters, just that population alone, all over the national territory, we won the election.
Away from that, Honorable, we'll be coming back to this conversation probably when your candidate would have been declared a winner of the October 12th presidential elections. Hopefully, you're working on a very interesting project to document the customs and traditions of Ngie. Tell us about this project very, very vividly, and why is it so important according to you?
Yeah, Mr. Wams, I will tell you that a man's identity is his culture. And a man without culture is a man without an identity. So, there is no gainsay as to the fact that it's an important aspect of our existence. And that is why, after examining the situation, there is this migration from the various villages way out and the rest. I discovered that the majority of children of this generation have lost track from the customs and tradition.
Can we talk about some of this customs and tradition? Yes.
You need to know that if you have your father, for example, dies, how do they perform rites during the celebration or the burial of your father? How do you perform rites during the death of your mother? How do you get married in Ngie? How do you enthrone a form in Ngie? The various aspects of traditional dances that we have, the talking drum, how do they play the talking drum? How do they dance the various traditional dances that we have? So these are very, like equally the religion of the Ngie people.
Honorable, you bear with me that these are very sensitive issues that sometimes you may want to fix it and then you end up spoiling it if the documenting is not as objective as it should be. So that brings us to the point of who are those working on this project in terms of maybe your contact, working with sociologists, historians, and all of those people, so that let's see how credible the outcome would be.
Yes, actually, I did not take this project like a political project. I look for the finest people who have an idea about the custom and tradition. I form a committee in collaboration with the section president of about 25 people.
Different political line.
Yes, people from all shades of opinion, irrespective of, we did not look into politics about that, whether you are from a political party. That was not our concern. Our concern was whether you have an idea about the customs and traditions of it. And we equally have some other people who have written, like Reverend Achewa, many written sort of fragments of the custom and tradition. We have led Mr. Seno and other people that have written certain things about customs and traditions of it. We had to consult some of these books and then put together with what we had. And the committee has already produced the first copy, which we are still working on it to make sure that it is well refined before we can put it for publication. And it will be my wish that we'll make as many copies as possible. The day we'll launch it, we'll send it out to the Ngie people so that in every household somebody should have a copy that you can refer to. It may have some shortcomings because like any other work, it can never be perfect. But we can always ameliorate on it. When people will go through it, if there are some shortcomings, we'll always revise it. It was not a project only for Ngie.
Okay.
I equally did the same. I equally instructed the people on Njikwa to put up a committee and the people of Widikum to do the same. And the Njikwa people are working on their own the same as Widikum, but it's Ngie that took upon itself to do it faster. And they are already done. It is only at the level of publication which we are trying to.
And any tips, maybe a sneak peek, just something you discovered that you didn't know, probably something very that can boost the curiosity of our readers. Is there anything specific that is unique that you found out yourself that you didn't know about the culture that is in this project?
Yes, you know, one of the aspects of tradition is just the justice system.
Okay.
That existed in Ngie. How people, maybe something is missing, how they used to find out, how they used to maybe put the people together to actually make sure that there is justice. Because I now got issues like to go and catch a squirrel. Because they will tell you that okay, after they go to the palace, they do the rites that they are supposed to do. They tell you that if you know that you are not the one who did this act, they will take you to the bush and you go and catch a squirrel. And it was some mystery that you get to the bush and you start talking there that they have accused me for this, they have done accused me for this. I'm completely innocent. Squirrel, wherever you are, I wish that you should come down. Let me catch you to prove to the people that I'm innocent. And it was happening that people go and catch the squirrel. And instances have happened that people went and then the squirrel fell and disappeared, which was testimony to the fact that
the thing is not true.
Yes, what the man was saying is not true. They may even go through the whole forest, they will not see even one squirrel. But immediately the person got to the bush and he was saying the truth. They will not take maybe an hour, they must have seen the squirrel. And the squirrel will come down on its own as we are talking. And they will catch it and they will carry it to the village. And the person will be implicated.
This is quite insightful. We can't wait to read the outcome of this document. Honorable, to close this interview, you are a public authority and we have been receiving messages from a contractor, supposedly Mr. Anaka, whom you should know. He said, he's been saying that you're owing him some sum of money. I don't know how this got to play out. And according to him, it has become bad debt and he wants you to pay the money, and we couldn't say anything without getting to. First of all, let's talk about the person and What do you think about what he's saying?
Yeah, actually, it is a pity because my attention has been drawn to this on several occasions. I've been able to call Anaka to tell me, because the allegation is that he borrowed 1 million francs and gave to me, and I refused that. I will not pay. I asked Anaka whether it was in a dream that he borrowed money and gave me, because a colleague of mine, another parliamentarian, he said that to the parliamentarian, and I called the Anaka in front of the parliamentarian. Which money did you borrow to me and where? He started saying that when I had an accident along the Bakusam along the road, I called him, he sent me 200,000 francs. I said, since I cannot even remember whether you sent me, because at that moment I was traumatized. I needed people to assist me to get my car from that place and come back to Yaoundé. I cannot even remember whether he sent me 200,000. But if he sent me 200,000, have you ever come to me on one occasion and said that my 200,000 you need it and I refuse that, I will not give you? What is 200,000? I said, but what about the 800,000? He said, no, you have not accepted the 200,000. Then what about? I said, no. I want to, you said it is 1 million. I want to know. He said, you will go to MTN. I said, okay, then go to MTN. Get the history that you send the money and bring to me. I will pay your money. I can remember there was one guy who is working in the registry of the High Court here. He came and met me and told me that they have a fishery program which the government is sponsoring, and one that we should benefit from it. To constitute the document and everything, it will cost 600,000, which I prepared my own documents and submitted to the guy. And Naka was a close person to me. All the time he comes to Yaoundé, he will always come and meet me in the office. Since I was following him up for the execution of the project he had for the road project, which was given to him, because the faith construction I talk about is owned by Anaka. So there was no time he came to Yaoundé without coming to my office. And in no occasion has he ever mentioned to me that I was owing him any money. So, being a close person to me, when this issue of fish came up, I called him and told him that there is something here that I think maybe you can equally benefit from it. Because that guy told us that they were sponsoring about 100 and something million francs per person. So I equally told him. He too told me that he's interested. He came and met me. We went at this hotel behind the Vatican, where I met a guy there with his manager. And he gave 600,000 francs to the guy for the project. Which, at the end of the day, we equally got many other people who got interested and equally gave their own money. But at the end, it turned around that the project did not work. But he did not give a franc to me. He counted the money in my presence and gave to the guy who was the foreman running the errand for the project. That is the only issue of money I know transpired between me and Naka that I'm aware. But not to talk about any money, because if it is 200,000, which he was talking about, 200,000 is not money. I can equate that and Naka 200,000. But my problem is him going around scandalizing my name that he borrowed money and gave me. I've asked him, bring proof that he borrowed money and gave me. It's not like I'm not somebody, I don't need to think about a document. That is not a problem. But then he convinced me that he gave me money at this position. So from whether in my office or wherever, he has not been able to tell me where he gave me money. All he is not talking about, because when I confronted him, all he was talking is 200,000. He's no longer talking about 1 million. But I made up my mind that I will look for 200,000 and give to him. But I want everybody to know that I can never borrow any money and give to me. Because, and he has never come to me to ask me that my money you borrow, give me, and then I refuse. Because you will not borrow money and give somebody and then you just sit quiet. And then you go and start talking to other people without talking to the person who is owing you the money.
Thank you very much, Honorable, for talking to us. It's a pleasure. We are looking forward to continuing this conversation probably after elections to find out your opinion as far as that is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, Ongekum, Widikum, Momo in general, we thank you for watching, and we shall be yours in a fortnight for another edition of Just Say It. My name is Wams. Ongekumo.